It didn't work. It did not work, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Good to have you back.
Welcome to the show, boys and girls. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show. Rob's drinking. What are you drinking, Rob?
Coffee. Coffee. Yeah.
For once, it's a non-alcoholic beverage, and that's not an advertisement
Yeah.
for.
No
Yeah.
product placement in this podcast. Nescafe is not a sponsor, but if you would like to be a sponsor, hit us up. You got our Facebook, our Google, our everything. Yeah, why not?
I'd like to hit you, Rob.
Send me a telegram in 1950. How's that?
And how are we supposed to go to 1950?
Do you know what? I heard of this thing called a DeLorean. Apparently, they go back in time.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
I've seen it. I've seen a film called Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was such a crappy car, though.
it was a good car. I like it, and I want one.
I want one as a piece of furniture. I would never drive one.
I'd drive it. I'd have the things on the back of it, the fins and the smoke and the flux capacitor.
Yeah, but it was only a V6. I think it was a 3.2 liter V6. It was just embarrassing to drive. I think that idiot from the internet, what's his name? Tyler Hoover, Hoovy's Garage. He's one of these famous car YouTubers. I think he had one, and it was a piece of junk. And they all are. I think if they put like a V8 in it, it would have been a massive success.
Yeah, but when you have the car itself, people just stop and stare at the car and go, wow.
Yeah,
DeLorean.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just have it like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, but I want to drive it. I want to drive down the road and people go, wow, point a finger at it.
Yeah.
Not point a finger and laugh, but,
Do you know, I don't think that the DeLorean is going to be good as a time machine because I don't think it reaches 88. It's like saying that, you know what? I'm going to build a space time machine out of a Prius, but you have to go 88 miles an hour. Yeah, good luck, bro.
the only way that's going to happen is if you launch the car from the cliffs of Dover
Yeah.
straight down.
I think
And
you
you-
need a bigger cliff.
What, like Everest?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, how are you going to get the car up the top of the Everest? Ain't going to get there.
Helicopter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chinook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chinook it up and then launch it off Everest.
Yeah, do it.
Are you going to be sitting in the car, or are you going to get someone else to do that for you?
I'll do it remote controlled. No. Do you know what? I got a better idea
Well,
on how to
it's
get a
not time
Prius
travel.
on top of the on top of the Everest. I'll get up there and call an Uber. I bet you it's gonna be a Prius. It's not
I
gonna.
bet you
yeah,
it turns up as well.
It's gonna be. Of
I am
course.
slightly late, but I couldn't find the address. Oh, this sounds racist. Stop it. No, don't do it.
Are you Rob?
Stop it.
Are you Rob? Yeah.
Wow. This is why you have no friends, because you're semi-racist.
Yeah. You know what? And if I could go back in time, I will not change anything about myself.
If I could turn back time.
Christ, he did it. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, you know it's coming. And for my next song, it's going to be Tequila.
Jeez.
That's my next karaoke smash.
Yeah.
Telling you.
New smash.
I'm good at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so listen, if going back to Back to the Future, going back to Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So, watching Back to the Future, if you could go back in time, and let's say you killed your granddad as a baby.
Why would I do
Right.
that? He was a great guy. I loved him. Why would I do that?
No, it's
It's just-
hypothetical. What if you didn't like him?
No, of course I did. He's my grandfather.
Oh, I
I
wasn't a
love
big
the
fan of
guy. He
mine.
was a great guy. He was a great dude. I have a picture with him in my backpack. He's a
So
great
did you-
dude.
sorry, was that he was a grey dude?
A
or
great dude.
I can't understand foreign. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
Do you
He's a great dude.
English? Do you speak it?
I know the words of what you want to say. English, mother. Do you understand?
I blame
You know
movies.
you want to. Anyway.
I blame games. Yeah, go on.
Oh, so if you were to go back in time and kill your granddad, would you be alive today?
Well, that's a weird question, and I'm not one of these PhD astrophysicists or whatever they are, but if you would go, if thoughts like these could come to your very deranged head, that means that you will not be able, you will not exist at all because it's a constant loop. But I think you would still be, but I don't think you could come back to your own time.
All right. Well, let's leave the paradox question for a second, right? Let's say you went back to kill Hitler as a baby. Now, the question arises here: if you were to kill, hold on. If you were to kill Hitler, all the people in the world that died over the Second World War wouldn't happen. Okay, but who's to say that? What did baby Hitler do? Nothing.
Exactly.
But if you killed Hitler as a baby, then you prevent the war from happening. But if you did kill Hitler, baby Hitler hasn't done anything, so you're killing an innocent child.
Exactly. That's
but
my
if you
point.
could,
Yeah.
would you go back in time and kill Hitler? Let's say not as a baby, but as I don't know, like a teenager kind of thing.
No. No, I would not want to. Like, look, having a time machine is probably like the greatest dream of all time, right? There's nothing better than imagining that you have a time machine to go back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
Why the hell does mankind instantly think about killing people? Why the hell? I mean, look, I'm not a violent person, right? I love guns. I love knives. I love stuff like that. I love hunting. I would love to go hunting, you know, but
Which is killing, by the way.
exactly, but it's a
Where do you think the
it's
KFC comes from?
It's
It's
a
through
stupid
killing.
animal. You're not gonna, you know, go back in time to kill babies. No, bro, go back in time, do something else. I don't know, play the
What, with-
lottery.
Yeah, there you go. Here, come back to money instantly, right?
Exactly, yeah. Why would
Well,
you
Matt,
look? I know that the coin is the eye of the devil, right? But I think that murder is slightly frowned upon.
well, yeah, depends who you ask.
Depends what you kill as well, because if you kill a chicken, or if you kill, you know,
Oh, baby chicken, like baby chickens.
I'd rather kill baby chickens than kill baby Hitler. What are you talking about? And I bet you that not maybe 98% of the population. What the hell is going on? You see, Hitler's coming back.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah,
Demonic possession.
yeah. What the hell is going on with this thing? Anyway, so if you would,
So I'm sorry, boys and girls,
Yeah.
for that.
98% of the people that of the whole world, if I would put them in a time machine now, one by one, right, in front of baby Hitler, as you say, let's not make him 5 years old when they're all cute. Let's make him, 6 months old when he's screaming his head off. And he's got the stupid mustache as well and everything, right?
At 6 years old.
Yeah, at 6 years old. We'll paint it on. Yeah, just
Okay.
Yeah. I bet you that 98% of the population, even though everyone knows what happened and what he did, will not be able to kill him.
I'd like to pose that question at some point and let people say, would they do it? Would they go back in time and would they know what he's going to become and would they kill him?
I'm not saying about what they would say they would do. I'm saying about actually
What they
being
would
in
do-
front
what
of
they
the
would
fact
do.
and do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's a lot of do's
'Cause
there. So if you do,
I can fly like an eagle. But you know what? It's kind of cold outside and it's a bit dark, so I won't.
yeah, I know. Yeah. No, there's those excuses. I get
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
So time machine. I don't know. I mean, if you were to go back in time, you'd play the lottery and. Oh, hold on a second. We always talk about going back in time, but going back in time, you have to go forward in time to get back to your own time as well.
Yeah.
Would you go? I mean, would you just if you had the time machine? Would you go back in time, or would you go forward in time?
Honestly, I would go to the future. I really would. I'm very curious about the future. I really am.
So you got two choices. You could go back in time and then come back to your own time, or you go in the future and then come back, if you wanted to. Only one shot.
Only one shot.
Yeah.
Future.
So I mean, you go to future and then
Never
have
come
the
back.
option to never come back.
Never come back.
What about family, mum, dad,
Leave him a letter.
and your daughter, and
Leave her leave a letter for everyone. What's that difficult to understand?
Can you write a letter, Rob?
I'll have it redacted by someone.
Text message.
I'll tell Siri to.
Don't say it. You know what happens when you say
That's
hey,
why no. She's,
Hey Siri.
No, she's close. Jesus. No. Okay.
What?
Now that backfired. It took her a while. You see?
It did.
Yeah. I think she's got the corona.
I
Anyway.
don't know what you mean by.
No.
I did. How about a web search for it?
No.
No, cancel. Such a
Right.
douche. I was trying
So-
to get yours to work.
Well, mine is not going to work because I've got the headphones on.
Oh, damn it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I is
Huh?
smart.
Once in a while, yeah, the light bulb comes on.
So-
Unlike your light there that came on just now, it was flashing on and off. So if you were to go to the future,
Yeah.
what would you do?
I'm really, really curious about transportation in the future. I really am, and society in general.
What you mean if we don't kill ourselves in the next 100 years? I mean, okay,
yeah.
how far in the future would you go?
I'd probably go. I think at least 200 years in the future. I'd go
Right.
to 2222 on the 2nd of February
Right, why the 2nd of February?
because it's 22222.
Ah,
Sounds like Pitbull's gonna make a song out of this. 22222. Uno, dos, tres. Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. I'm really curious. Like, is it true that we're all gonna be in driverless cars and everything's gonna be autonomous and flying cars? And I'm really curious because I'm a biker. I wonder if we've got all of those luxuries, what happens to the motorcycle? You know, like if there's no more passion for the means of transportation. I'm not saying that we're passionate about the underground, the metro system, or the subway, right?
yeah.
But we
yeah.
are passionate. Some of us, we have a passion towards our cars. Some of us, we have a passion towards our motorcycles, right? But when,
Yep.
you know, like 3 or 4 generations down the line, let's say the second generation that comes after driverless technology becomes mainstream, right? I want to
we're talking future Tesla now, right?
exactly, yeah,
Ish.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm talking about 3 generations from now.
Mhm.
How would those people perceive someone like me? You know, some guy that drives a manual, that drove a manual in the past, and ride a motorcycle. You know, something that burns dinosaurs and whatever. I'm curious to see what they're doing. What kind of fuel are they using? How do people work? Where do they work? Do they work from home? Do they have androids that work for them?
I mean, I was reading on the internet today that in 15 years' time, 15, the government is going to say no to any cars which run on petrol or diesel. So any cars that run on those will stop production in 15 years in England.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that time that you're talking about, it's got to be, hydrogen, and it's got to be electric.
Exactly.
One of those,
yeah.
possibly solar powered if we get that. far ahead
Maybe
in
solar,
technology.
maybe nuclear.
Possibly,
A tiny little fusion reactor in the back of the trunk. Who knows? That's what
which goes
exactly.
Back to the Future again.
Yeah, yeah. You see, that's what I'm curious about. I really am.
Minus the plutonium,
Yeah.
because that's frowned upon, apparently.
So and then I'm curious about life in general. Are we gonna eat food, or are we gonna eat like mush?
Well, like an MRE, like
No, even worse than that. Like I don't know, mashed potato looking stuff that has every protein that we need and all the vitamins we need. You see, I didn't say vitamins.
Amazing.
But it doesn't taste like anything.
Hmm.
Or do we get a shot? Like in, I think it was Fifth Element. Bruce Willis, he was like, yeah, I'm hungry. Psst. That was it.
Well, if you remember Fifth Element, there was a scene where they go to a McDonald's drive-through.
Yeah.
So apparently, out of all the places that survive, it's
McDonald's,
Mickey
yeah.
D's. Yeah, amazing, huh?
Yeah.
I don't remember the shot he has. Bruce Willis has a shot.
He does have a shot in the neck at the beginning. I vaguely remember the movie. It was a stupid movie, but I watched it because of Mila. Mila Jovovich,
Yeah.
Fifth Element, especially Resident Evil, one of my favorite movies. Oh, yeah.
such a stupid movie. I watched all of them. It's like,
Resident Evil is the best movie, and Slipknot had like the best soundtrack. Like that was one of the very few heavy metal songs that they put as a soundtrack for a movie that worked.
Robbie,
Yeah.
rewind.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't come back to time travel.
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you see flying cars?
I don't know. That's why I'm curious.
No, well, not. I know you're curious, but do you see at some point flying cars?
I don't
If
think
there
so.
were bikes, would they fly?
I don't think so. I don't think
Or
mankind.
would it be like a hover bike?
You know what? I don't think mankind is gonna take to the skies as far as personal transportation is concerned. I don't think they will, because mankind is retarded, and I do mean this without offending anyone, because even though I just
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
everyone on the planet retarded, but
Yeah.
think about it.
He means as in stupid, not as in disability factor. Yeah.
Look, a tiny little woman, 4 foot nothing, almost ran me off the road in a Audi SQ7 today. Twice.
Well, she turned around and went for you again.
No.
Different woman.
Same woman, same car, different intersection.
Oh wow.
Twice it happened. She did not even know why I was beeping at her. She didn't even care.
Oblivious.
So, can you imagine a person like that in the air?
No. You know, my old flight instructor John Lee used to say, "H, just be thankful that not everybody works at air traffic control." You know.
Yeah, like the amateurs
alone-
at Gatwick Airport.
But here.
They don't. Gatwick Airport's control tower does not even have a clue which terminal the aircraft is gonna stop at.
Of course it does.
No, they don't.
Yeah, well, and just not and you know what? Now you're talking about Gatwick Airport. I'm thinking about, were you there when the drone was around?
Yeah, I was actually there. Yeah. It
Well,
wasn't
you
mine. I could not afford the drone. What are you talking about? I'm dirt poor. No, it wasn't my drone.
But listen, if we went to flying cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna let you. You know, if cars now soon are gonna be driverless, the driver will be taken out of the equation. Do you really think in a flying car they're gonna let 4 foot nothing woman fly the flying car? There's not gonna be an option for that. It'll be automated to where you want to go,
Yeah, but then
computer controlled.
it's just gonna be like getting into an elevator. We're gonna lose passion.
Is losing passion a bad thing as a comparative to losing life? How many people die on the roads every day?
They're gonna die in the sky as well.
Why? If the computer's controlling things,
Yeah.
yeah, it was going to have a grasp on what it's doing. I mean, you know as well as I do, computers have a far more efficient grasp out of doing things.
Yeah, they do. This light is
Yeah.
computer controlled. You see? Proved you wrong right there.
I think there's a poltergeist where you're living, by the way.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I think something's going on.
You see, it's
Um,
it's baby Hitler. It's no. It's me from the future trying to stop me from having this conversation.
Oh, right. So here's the thing, right? I mean, now we've eliminated computers are now flying everything. If you were to meet yourself, would that cause a paradox? I mean, what would you actually do if you saw yourself? Ready to turn around in a second. If you saw yourself coming through that door, it didn't happen.
No.
No. But if you did meet yourself, wouldn't that freak you out?
I think a little bit at first, but no, not really. I'd love to. I would be fascinated. Like, dude, you coming back from the? Are you from the future or from the past? So I know what questions to ask. I'd love to meet myself. I really would. Like, if I could go back, if I'd go back in time, I would go like let's say I have an infinite amount of times to go back and forth. I would go back to yesterday, just for shits and giggles.
Why?
Just have fun with me, like, bro, do you know what's gonna happen on TV? Check this out.
Yeah, but
And also freak you the fuck out. Like having two of us here talking to you. That would
Yeah,
be
no,
freaky as
that-
hell. Can you imagine?
no. I mean, one of you is bad enough, Rob. Let alone unleashing two of you onto the world.
You know what I would do? Here's the thing. I would go to a Rolex shop. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out, bro.
Okay. Go.
I'd go to a Rolex shop, buy one with real money, right?
Yeah.
Go back in time 10 minutes earlier and give it to myself. And I'd say, hold on a second. And then, next second, go back in time again. Here, take this one again. And again and again and again. And I'm going to have like, I don't know, like 150 million Rolexes. And then they'll depreciate and go out of business.
You know, I sometimes what scares me most is not the coronavirus, but living in the mind of you, Rob.
Bro,
It's a scary place to be.
my mind is funner than a house of mirrors, I swear to God. That's why. Do you know what? If I'd go to a psychiatrist, I swear to God, he's gonna quit the next day.
Can you spell the word psychiatrist?
Psycho, the rapist.
Perfect. There you go. Pause again. Yeah, you can clearly tell
So-
Rob is not a doctor. But
All
carry
right,
on.
So, what
Yeah.
about you? Back in time or in the future?
Back in time.
Okay, how far?
Here's the thing. Now, if I went back in time hypothetically and killed Hitler,
No. Forget about no. Let's not do. Let's forget about international villains. Let's forget about world wars. Let's forget about Genghis Khan, Louis VIII, Henry II, whoever Bill Clinton and Monica. Forget about those. Just
you know your history, Rob. I'm impressed.
yeah, just go back in time to I don't know, sightsee. There you go. Forget
Go
about
back where?
killing people. Jesus.
No, I'm just. Hear me out, right? So, here's the thing: if a person was to go back in time and kill baby Hitler,
Okay.
the question is, what would it upset? Would it upset the timeline?
Well,
Does that necessarily mean that I would be there? Do you see what I'm saying? Certain events have happened after Hitler was around, for it to be where we are now.
well.
So, I mean, going back in time, let's say you even meet yourself, and you know as well as I do, they say, try to avoid meeting yourself.
They say don't meet your heroes. And I am my own hero.
Right, yeah. Anyway, so this is what would happen. They say don't meet yourself because you could cause a paradox, and you could upset the timeline, which in turn could then make to the point where you never had time travel, because you've upset the timeline in such a way that past Rob would then go back in time, meet himself, and that Rob would affect the future somehow to prevent himself making a time machine or getting into a time machine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind
Let's say you went back in time and you gave yourself some advice. You know, Rob, here's the winning lottery number ticket, blah, blah, blah. And this day you're going to win this. Okay? Who's to say at that point in time that you never meet your wife? You never have your daughter? You move away from home? Certain other elements of the timeline are there and then affected for the future, Rob.
Yeah, but I'll just give me the lottery numbers last year.
No, I get. Oh, okay. So
Not
you wouldn't go
when
that
I was
far
15.
back in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. No, I told you, bro. I'm short span. I'd go back to yesterday. I'd go back to Friday. Now, you know what my question is? The biggest question? Could you take a vehicle with you?
Yeah, the DeLorean.
No. Forget about the DeLorean. I'm talking about having something like, have you ever seen Quantum Leap? The TV
Yeah.
show. Something along those lines. So he had a device and he randomly jumped forwards and backwards in time, but in different areas of the country. And he changed his physical shape, right? He was, in the body of someone else. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
talking about a device like that, not a car, right? I'm talking about a device like that you program, you put in your pocket, and everything that's, like if I hold on to this chair, I take it with me back to the 1800s.
Okay.
Something along those lines. Because you know what I
Yeah.
would like to do? I'd
Go
like
on.
to get on my bike, fully kit myself out, go back to, I think it was 11th of January 2013, and race myself on a motorcycle and see if I'm better than me. if I'm faster than me. Because that was my fastest day ever. I have never been as fast as that day.
You know, someone said to my missus that she was special, in a special kind of way, and her friend said, "No, she's not special. She's beyond that. She's special." That's where you are right now. You are just special. I mean, I'm thinking about going back in time and possibly preventing
Killing
the
a
Titanic.
child.
No,
Okay.
that was a paradox. It was a question posed.
How would you save the Titanic?
How
Okay.
would I? Okay.
Yeah. How?
You would. I mean, here's and this is what I'm trying to say. If you were to go back in time and you said to the captain of the ship, "I'm from the future, and we're going to hit an iceberg tonight."
He's gonna tie you up somewhere,
Yeah, he's gonna. I
Or
mean,
throw
how
you
do
overboard.
How do you prevent that from happening? Would you prevent that from happening? Could you prevent that from happening?
I would take the different approach, but that's probably because I grew up with different kind of movies and different kind of games. But I would pull an Assassin's Creed on his ass and like be in the shadows, ninja style, and just on the night of the Titanic hitting the thing, I would just adjust the course, like 3 hours in advance. Because if you adjust it by, like, let's say
1 degree.
a fraction of a degree, 200 miles down the line, you're gonna be in a totally different place.
Yeah.
If you go like 3 hours ago, and adjust it slightly, then boom, home free. So yeah,
But the question is, let's say you couldn't do that. But let's say that I don't know,
Titanic
let's
is
say
easy. Titanic
the-
is easy to prevent.
the Hindenburg.
I don't think that I don't have enough details about how the Hindenburg works, but I mean I get it. It's a balloon, but
Yeah, ain't no party balloon, is it? Hold it up in the air. Woo!
I think that these these older modern tragedies, I think they would be slightly easier to prevent than something like 9/11. So let me explain what I'm saying. Before we had security cameras, before we had all of these electronics and fancy login devices and key cards and magnetic access and whatever, it would be a lot easier to infiltrate. Like on the Titanic, if you would know, like we do now, that it's gonna set sail on this day and whatever, you would go back in time to 3 months before the Titanic set sail, find the first mate, and just before setting sail, tie him up in the basement and take his clothes. And then you present yourself, when the captain is doing, like the roll call and all checks and everything. Like, yeah, I got replaced. This is
Oil
me.
checks.
Yeah.
He's got a big dipstick, pulls it out and goes, "Yeah, we're running a bit low in the oil."
It's an engine. It's got. Oh no, it was steam powered. Sorry.
Was it steam powered?
I think it
No.
was.
No, it wasn't.
Was it diesel? No, it wasn't diesel.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the steam powered, bro?
It was diesel? No, because it had 4 chimneys. It had 4 stacks.
So?
Because the Queen Mary had 3 and the Titanic had 4. And those usually ships that have stacks like that are steam powered.
Sorry, for the boys and girls' safety here, we've got to check this.
Yeah.
Well,
y-
I'm pretty
you
sure
check
the
that.
Titanic-
Because do you know what? Okay, I'm not. I don't want to take this approach that H does. I don't want to go back in time and change anything, other than making myself rich. But I would like to go back in time to meet people, at least see them. I would like to see Vlad the Impaler, which the whole Dracula thing started from. I would like to see someone like Trajan, the Roman emperor. I would like to meet Alexander the Great, because back in those times, because we know history, how it happened, that you can manipulate them in such a way. Because back then, surprise, surprise, boys and girls, we didn't have social media. Nobody had a clue how Caesar looks like. You get my point? So with the right haircut, hair dye, and material, grab a few peasants from insert village here, da-da-da, all hail Emperor Caesar. And it's me. you know, and I get to meet Alexander the Great or Cleopatra. With Cleopatra, can you imagine?
Yeah, I can. I can imagine quite a bit.
Yeah.
I can imagine you as straightjack as well. But you were actually correct on the steam engine thing, by the way. Two
was?
reciprocating engines,
Yeah.
which produce 30,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, you actually got something right, Rob. That's
Yippee.
once in a while. Yippee ki yay, huh?
Yeah. I would like to see, you know, like major events, like, you know, how mankind. But this is going to be difficult to punch into a machine. But I would like to see how mankind got out of a tree and into a house. You know, like literally see it.
Do you know? Here's something funny, right? On the side, a little while back, Donald Trump had a speech, and he was talking about the great inventors of America.
Okay.
And in one of the speeches, he actually said, suggested that America invented the wheel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
fire.
mean, you know.
And hot water and walking.
Oh yeah, really?
Another thing that I would like to witness, I would like to meet and, you know, see the first Harley Davidson shop. I would like to meet the guy, Daimler, you know, of Daimler Benz.
Mhm.
How awesome would stuff like that be? Ettore Bugatti would be an awesome person to talk to. Enzo Ferrari.
Mm.
You know, it's people like those. Forget about. Okay, yeah, we had douchebags in history, but you know, I always like to focus on the, you know, the great minds. I'm not talking about people like Einstein or Tesla because they're way too smart for me. But I would like to talk to people. I'd love to talk to Henry Ford. I'd love to. You know, I'd love to. You know, like. You know, meet the guys that developed the Maybach from the 30s. You know, that they had a Maybach. They even did a tribute to it, the Excelero, and there was a Maybach that could do, I think it was 180 miles an hour for 24 hours, constantly without stopping. You know, just refuel and again. You know, stuff like that. I would not go back in time to kill anyone. Hell no.
Yeah, but just think of the countless lives you could save by doing that.
You know, we in essence are an animal, right? And we should abide by nature's laws, right? There's a food chain, and at the moment we are top of the food chain. But amongst each other, there's predators and prey. You know, there's good guys and bad guys. Sometimes good guys win, sometimes they don't.
You know, I disagree with what you said. We should obey nature's laws. We don't. We're flying. We're in space. That's not man wasn't supposed to do that, but we've done it. So you don't obey all of nature's laws. Clearly,
And
you only obey the ones that suit you.
or
I mean,
are
if that was the
made
case, then we wouldn't have climate change, fake news, as some people say,
Yeah.
or flat earthers, or anything else, right? We wouldn't have science because we don't. I mean, you know, heretics back in the day, scientists
Yeah.
were killed because they had other views that the church didn't have or people didn't have. I mean, women were burned at the stake because they were considered witches.
Yeah, and they could have been time travelers.
They could have been time travelers. So, you know, this has a downturn on it as well.
Yeah.
You're not careful. I mean, let's say you go back in time. What would you do for currency? Your currency now is your card is not going to work. You know
Oh
that,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. What do you do for currency?
I'm not gonna.
Are you going to buy?
Yeah, but you're not gonna spend that much time there, are you? I mean, let's say that if you go to I think it was 1748. No, let's say you want to see how the Declaration of Independence was. You know,
Right.
the Bill of Rights, 1777 or 17 whatever 74. You want to go see that? How long are you gonna stay? You're gonna be there for a couple of hours, peep through a window, listen in on the conversation, and then come back to present time and meet me and tell me, Rob, do you know what? Yeah, you were right. Those fuckers were drunk. They put an eye on a dollar bill, bro.
Yeah. Well, and plus they were wanted by the government, right? And they were criminals, virtually.
Yeah.
What they were doing was considered a crime.
Yeah.
You know. This is a hard one. I mean, you know, we haven't put in parameters such as how long you'd stay, what would power the car, what would power the time machine, how would it affect you? could you do what you're doing? You know, could
Yeah.
you only go one way or the future, or could you go back?
Yeah.
Could you go forwards and then come back? I mean, that's the question. But the question is, if you only had one shot to do this, what would that shot be? Just gaining for yourself? I mean, would you go back in time and, you know, could you go back in time and say to somebody, I don't know who exactly, but, you know, what we're doing now to climate change, this is what's going to happen. People in the past, like, let's say Nostradamus, have predicted the future. Have we done anything about it? He
No,
predicted some stuff, like the Twin Towers coming down.
Yeah.
As somebody said once, the two towers. I went, no, that's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snooze fest.
But, you know, yeah. You know, would you just do it for financial gain? If you was one shot only, as hypothetical, if we're going hypothetical, which the whole conversation is, if you could only have one shot, what would that shot be?
One shot and stay there, never come back.
No, one shot and come back.
One shot and come back. I'd still say future. I'd still say future.
You wouldn't change anything in the past.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
If I would have multiple shots to go back and forth, like I said, I would just go as a tourist. I will not change anything, especially major events. Who knows? You step on a bug in, I don't know, like 4,000 before Christ. Who knows what's going to happen? You really want to play with stuff like that? No. Forget about it. We're not smart enough to do such a thing. You know.
Well, I will not say we're not smart enough.
Mankind in general is not smart enough to do such a thing. But
Well,
you
like,
know
go
what?
back in-
Let me tell you something, because you think that my argument is stupid and boring, and, you know, like going back as a tourist just to look around is boring and retarded. Would you not
No.
want to go back in time to see, let's say, London before it was London, when it was a Roman settlement? Would you not want to see that? Because you can overlay in your mind, you know, like, oh yeah, this is where the Thames goes left. That's where Big Ben is right now. There's nothing there. There's a barn, or who knows what it is.
Yeah, what's the advantage of doing that? Just having a look?
Yeah, having a look, you know, then you know, you've been there. You know, the best thing that historians can say is the fact that they read about the past, but then you have the advantage of actually seeing it, smelling it, hearing it. Can you imagine how cool it would be to see who built Stonehenge, the pyramids, how they began, how did they lift those megaliths? You know,
Aliens, by the way.
Roswell. Would you know, how cool would it be to be 200 yards behind the crash site at Roswell? Because I can pull that up on Google in 2 minutes, and then punch it into my time travel machine, and just boom, I'll be there. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
that would be cool as hell. And you know, modern large-scale structures. You know, like let's say something that was before our time. The railroad in the United States, that was a massive deal, you know. Can you imagine being infiltrated as a waiter when they had that conversation, you know, to see who was actually, you know, the better man in that conversation?
You're talking about multiple events that you'd go back and change. I'm thinking,
Not change.
okay,
Not change. Witness.
oh, look at,
Witness.
observe.
Yeah.
You'd be an observer.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, in some pictures throughout history, there have been certain pictures with, it looks like the same people in the same picture.
Yeah.
I mean, slightly off the subject. I was looking at Discovery, and in a couple of pictures, they've got what looks like UFOs
Mm-hmm.
in some of the pictures. I think it's got Mary holding baby Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and
And there's a flying thing, yeah.
yeah,
And
in
it
the
looks
sky.
freaky. Would you not want to be, because we can find out who painted that. Can you imagine being there? Just,
Yeah.
you know, in the shadows, you know, like Assassin's Creed style, you know, behind the curtain, and you look, you're like,
That's called a curtain twitcher, by the way, in England. They're just nosy
it's
neighbours.
just creepy. You know, Assassin's Creed sounds better, you know, ninja style. Whoa.
Ninja style.
Yeah. Uh,
I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, bro. If I could go back in time and I could change some things, let's say mass murder of the planet, or millions of people dying, maybe we would be in a different place right now, future based. Again, it's maybe it's conjecture. I don't know what's going to happen, but the present course that we're on is not a good course right now. I mean, it seems like we're becoming some kind of disease on planet Earth. I'm thinking possibly we would be more technologically advanced than to where we are now. Maybe we'd be in a more educated place if we didn't have all these people. God knows how many intelligent people were killed in the Second and First World War. Where would it be? It's, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you make a fair point, but that would only mean that, um, yeah, it's gonna sound rude, but the planet will be overpopulated by now. Can you imagine? Because he killed what, 6 million of them, not including casualties of the war,
Yeah, I mean,
and the
you know what?
genocide. So
Going back against what I just said, the negative side of that is it causes bigger catastrophe.
so
So do you mess with time or don't you mess with time is the question here.
exactly, yeah. What if let's say that? Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm gonna say it. Let's say that you kill baby Hitler, right? Or I do.
Yay!
Let,
Finally.
okay. What if Churchill ends up taking his place in the timeline? Let's say Churchill's string snaps, and all of a sudden he wants to. We will fight on the shores. We will fight on the seas. That stupid speech he had.
That almost sounded Indian, you know, it almost sounded racist.
Anyway, Churchill was an idiot, but forget about it. Let's imagine that, or what was his face? Harry Truman, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if one of those starts the invasion and whatever? What if one of
Well,
what
yeah.
if the Russians do instead of Hitler?
Yeah.
What
They
if
think, yeah, well, maybe we can take over the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
because illusions of grandeur? Think about it. I mean, you guys are guilty of that. You guys were the biggest empire to date. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the intentions, what's it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Is
Yeah.
that the saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, you might take out one dictator, but you just replaced a bigger one with the one you got rid of in
Exactly.
the first place.
And it's all a matter of perspective. I mean, I'm not, because you see what you made me do. This is why I didn't want to talk to you about this, because you made me argue that Hitler was not that bad, and he's important to our history. What? Jesus Christ! How did I get here? Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've wrapped this one up because we don't know. Well, it's too hard to tell. Basically, that's the basis of the
Yeah.
argument. I mean, you have a good point of you go back as an observer, see stuff, great. For your own personal satisfaction. Let's say
Yeah.
no gain,
No gain.
possibly a little bit of gain at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe pass yourself some numbers.
A bit of gambling here and there. Invest in
No.
the right stocks.
Yeah.
Take
You know.
Jeff Bezos' place.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Create Amazon before him.
So the argument of changing anything in the timeline just too dangerous, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know what the outcome possibly
For
could
us. For us.
be. Right.
If there would be a
Interesting.
supreme being, what if? Can you imagine going back in time to the Last Supper,
Yeah.
seeing if that was
Actually
real?
did happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it real?
Did it happen? How did it happen? Was it like that? Going back to
Did-
the birth of baby Jesus.
Yeah. Was Jesus actually a man with a tan?
Yeah, did he have a suntan? Obviously he would, because he's Middle Eastern, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, some people say he was. I mean, you look at the Roman or Catholic Church, he was white.
Of course he was.
He was a man without a tan, basically.
How do you want him to pay? How would you want them to paint him? Obviously.
Well,
they painted
they're
him.
not going to paint him as black, are they? Clearly.
Yeah.
No. He's going to be a man with a tan.
Yeah.
Middle Eastern descent looking.
Yeah.
Interesting enough.
Slippers. What if he wore socks with sandals? What if Jesus wore socks with sandals?
What if Jesus wore socks with sandals?
What if
Interesting
God was
concept.
one of us? That was a great song.
Go on, sing it.
No, I'm not gonna. If we get 1,000 likes, I'm gonna sing.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you're going to
no.
shave your head
I'm
and your
not-
beard as well.
I'm not as cheap as him. Oh, I don't sing for free, bro.
Anyway, I think we've wrapped this conversation up.
So conclusion time. After
conclusion time. Yeah.
After everything
conclusion
said.
would be not go back in time and change anything. Be an observer. That would be the right outcome. I agree with you in this one, Rob.
Yeah.
Wow. Did I just say that?
You see, I made you agree with me without pushing it.
Well, you talked
I am
enough for this
that
one.
good.
But, yeah. Right. Okay. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'd like to say, you need to check out some of our other shows. And anything else to add, Rob? Anything else to add, should I say?
Yeah, so if you guys like the video, just press the thumbs up button. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you have an interesting idea of what to do next in our show, you can hit us up on Facebook, The H and Rob Show. Yeah, so we will catch you next week.
Yeah, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from him. Rob, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.